Universe controllers. In the Old Testament, angels are described as ugly creatures with thousands of eyes. Pretty young men with two wings is an image of angels strongly romanticized by medieval literature. In their natural form, angels have from 2 to several hundred wings. For example, the Prophet Muhammad saw Jabrael, angel Gabriel, in his natural form with 600 wings, he says. Angels are creatures created by God. They consist of divine light and are essentially programs responsible for one or another part of the world order. Most angels do not have their own will and carry out the will of God, with the exception of the third of the angels that were cast into the abyss led by Satan. They were reborn into demons. All 9 ranks of angels that control the universe, they were actually 10 ranks, but one of them with Satan fell, and there are 9 left. Now, as we know, the reason that Satan hates mankind is because the 10th rank will be filled by humans. Now, all 9 ranks of angels that control the universe, starting from the lower angels, these are the angels, the archangels, beginnings, then powers, then forces and dominions, and finally those closest to God are the thrones, the cherubim and the seraphim. They all control our world, the movement of the planets, the ebb and flow, the winds. Not a single blade of grass in the world moves without the guidance of angels, powers, and thrones. So the hierarchy of angels consists of 9 ranks and 3 groups of 3 types of entities. Ezekiel, the rims of these wheels are high and terrible and move before the sacred animals. The first triad, angels, archangels, and the beginnings, arches in Greek. Angels are the closest beings to us, therefore they are the most similar to us. They often act as messengers from God, and guardian angels are distinguished from them, which every person has. Angels are incorporeal, asexual beings, but they can appear to people in the form of humans with wings behind his back, obey the archangels. Now, we have seen angels of uncreated light during the sacrament of baptism in our little church of St. Sozon in the shanty town of Kapota in Athens. They don't have wings. They're beautiful. They have long hair waved up to their shoulders and more. And they're made of uncreated light. Now, the archangels are the highest angels who control the sums of angels, and also 4 of them are well known to us. They control the elements and the cardinal points. These are the angel Raphael, Gabriel, Michael, and Uriel. The beginnings are or arches in Greek, are beings similar to angels, but responsible for controlling the universe, the movement of the planets, weathers, waters, and lands, and are not yet forces but beginnings, arches. They also control the spiritual principles of a person, the desire for knowledge and spiritual growth. Then you have the second triad, the authorities, the forces, and the dominions. The authorities manage the lower triad of angels, educate and train them, but their main task is to keep our universe intact, to protect from evil and the devil. Forces, dynamis forces, as the name suggests, they govern all of the forces of the universe. For a person, they manifest themselves in the form of the power of clairvoyance and the power of prediction. No miracle can be done without them. Dominions manage the forces, and dominations are also responsible for the power on earth, and human rulers govern peace and war. And the third triad, thrones, cherubim, and seraphim. The thrones are creatures close to God. They never appear in front of people and do not interfere in their lives, but they carry out the judgment of God and express its providence. The third triad no longer governs the physical world, but broadcasts the will of God. The cherubim, the second to God after the seraphim, and express the wisdom of God. Unfortunately, we cannot imagine their appearance in our dimension, but if simplified, this is a 4-winged, 4-armed creature with 4 heads: bull, eagle, lion, and man. The seraphim, the first angelic type close to God. These are pure beings of the Spirit, the original fire of God. They emit such a bright light that even angels cannot see them. They are the light, truth, and love of God. Namely, angels, forces, beginnings make water flow, fire burn, and earth rotate. They fulfill the will and thought of God, being in a clear hierarchy to each other. Only one angel did not obey the will of God, Lucifer, and was overthrown by with his minions. This hierarchy of angels has quite strong differences in Judaism and Islam. The angels that appear to people usually belong to the lower triad, but the prophet Ezekiel managed to see angels close to God, and this is how he describes them. Before Ezekiel, the heavens opened up, and 4 deities appeared. Each of them had 4 faces: the face of a man, the face of a lion, the face of a calf, and the face of an eagle. 4 arms and 4 wings. It was as if the fire was blazing between the animals. They shone, and it seemed that they were moving quickly, each in their own direction. Below, under each animal, there was a wheel, and it seemed that each wheel has a wheel within a wheel. The rims of the wheels were full of eyes. Above the heads of the animals was a kind of throne resembling a crystal, and on this throne sat a man, from him a radiance spread. Ezekiel describes a 4-winged, 4-faced cherubim, under which is a wheel in a wheel with a rim of thousands of eyes, and above which is the throne of God. Interestingly, the cherubim moved in 4 directions at the same time. Even now it's difficult to comprehend what the Old Testament prophet really described to us. Similar creatures are described by St. John the Apostle in his book of Revelation, the Apocalypse. Only his creatures already have 6 wings, and they are called seraphim. Each of the seraphim had 6 wings. 2 of them covered his face, and with 2 he covered his feet, and with 2 he flew. If a cherubim are the wheels of God, then the seraphim, according to the assurance of the prophet Isaiah, are the closest angels to God. They are made of pure light, they burn, they move with lightning speed, and they constantly praise God. Even simple, ordinary angels are not human-like. They are huge in size and can have up to 100 wings. They come to a person in the form close to him, so as not to frighten or shock. Jesus Christ mentioned the existence of angels many times, confirming their reality. In total, angels are mentioned more than 300 times in the Bible. Some of the angels led by Azrael, according to other sources led by Shamael, are assigned to collect the souls of dying people, and they are called the angels of death. To summarize, angels are multi-winged, most often 4-faced or wheel-shaped creatures with many eyes. They surpass people in strength and stand on the step between God and man. The prophet John, for example, revered these creatures so much that he began to worship them as gods. In the 4th century, the Laodicean Council even had to ban the cult of angels. Angels are genderless, and their physical body does not really matter, since they are beings of the supraphysical spiritual world. They acquire physical form only when they come to people. Angelos, from the Greek word meaning messenger. And we know their appearance in the non-material world only from the description of the prophets, and usually they appear as flaming, many-winged, many-faced, many-eyed creatures. However, it seems that a person in the non-material world will not look quite ordinary. And this is on Solask. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box.